All right, so we are going to start our very first 3D model, and what we're going to do is we are going to model a flower petal. Just one petal, and we will turn that into an entire flower. There are so many ways you can model flowers in Maya. I want you to follow these steps so that you can learn certain techniques and become more familiar with certain tools. I'm going to try to keep each of these videos short so that you can watch it multiple times as needed. And if you have to watch a video a few times before you're ready to model, that is just fine. I am going to start by going to my Create menu and making a polygon primitive. There are a number of different primitives. I'm going to make the one that I think most closely resembles the shape of a flower petal. That's going to be a cube. And I know you're thinking, I've seen cubes before, and I've seen flower petals before, and they don't look anything alike. But bear with me. Here's my cube. I am going to press F to frame it so I can see it a little bit bigger. Over here in my channel box, it is called pCube1. I'm going to click to rename that. I'm going to call mine Petal 01. If you are trying to make a specific type of flower, like a daisy, you would go back and you would call this one Daisy Petal 1. I am using underscores in between each word. Maya will not accept spaces or special characters in any of its names, so you should be aware of that. And I'm also using these numbers. I'm using 0, 1, so that I can force alphabetical order. But by naming this petal 0, 1, when I make the duplicate petals, they will all come in numbered correctly. Lovely. Now, this is a cube. It looks like a little tiny square, nice and dimensional. If I press the 3 key, you'll see that it turns into a little ball. And that's the trick. That's the thing that makes it possible for me to make a flower petal out of a cube. I'm going to go a little bit further, and back over in my channel box, if I go to Inputs, under Polycube 1, I can change the default settings of the cube. So for example, if I go to Height, I'm going to click on the name Height and middle mouse drag side to side. That will make my cube get taller or shorter. I'm going to make it a little bit taller. And since I hate these little awkward numbers, I'll just come in and type that up to a 2. And if I change its depth, I can make it nice and thin. Mine is down to 0.1. It's still a little thick for a flower petal, so maybe I'll come here and type in 0.05. Now I've got this nice thin ovoid shape, and you can see how it's going to start becoming a flower petal. The other thing that I can change in my inputs is I can adjust my subdivisions. Subdivisions width, again I'll click on the name, and then out here I will middle mouse drag. We'll add to the geometry running up and down my flower petal. You can see that as I add subdivisions, the petal becomes much more cube-like again. And the more I add, the squarer it becomes. So I do want to go slowly with this. And I know that flower petals have a certain symmetry, so I want to keep an edge that runs along the center. So I might turn this up to 4. And that looks like a nice number of subdivisions width. Subdivisions height, again I will click on the name and middle mouse drag. Again, you can see that as I add these, my shape becomes much squarer, so I want to go pretty slowly. But these are the subdivisions that will let me give my flower petal shape, so maybe 4 or 5 of these will give me enough subdivisions to work with while not squaring it off too much. Subdivision's depth will come in along the side here, and if I add those, you'll see that that makes that side really square. If I were trying to make a playing card, that would be lovely, but I'm not. I'm trying to make a petal, so I am going to leave my subdivision's width at either 2 or 1, and that'll help keep my petal nice and soft on those edges. This is a good base shape, and this is all that I am going to do to this petal in object mode. In my next video, I will talk about entering the different component selection modes and how I can start using those components to shape this and make it look less like a cube and more like a petal. I will see you for that.